Hello and welcome back to Who Knows, and today we're going to be reviewing the first episode of Series 2, Robot Rebellion. I have to say, this episode was really good. I really enjoyed this one. Coming off from the Christmas special, I was hoping that Series 2 would start off really strong. Um, and obviously, we knew that we're getting a new companion. That was information that was out there a while ago. This companion, this actress, has been in Doctor Who before. She was in the episode, as I call it, the Doctor Does Nothing episode, where she is a soldier. Um, but they have brought her back in a different way. Wonderful way to explain how this actress is back in again. Timey wimey. It's explained that way, timey wimey. But before we talk about that, let's talk at the beginning of it. So the first part we get to see is Belinda and Al at a little bench having a little romantic moment, even though it wasn't really romantic because straight away you can tell that this person is a control freak. So they're establishing him as the dick, if that makes sense. Very, very early on. The first little bit is when he gives her a gift, and instead of her folding it nicely, rip it apart, that annoyed him. So it's showing elements of how much of a controlling person he is. They have that little awkward moment where he basically names a star as a little present, and then they have that awkward little moment. 17 years pass, and we are in present day, and it's showing her day-to-day life. Now, the one thing I quite liked about this is it's like Remember Berries. Russell T Davies is doing Remember Berries, where we're back at a hospital. The last time we were at a hospital was with Martha Jones, and the doctor shows up to the hospital as well. And you got that little moment where the 10th Doctor and Martha type thing. You're kind of going, is the Dune going to make a returns? Who knows? But it was quite nice. It was a nice little moment. It's also kind of nice to, not say anything bad about the companions before, but it's nice to have a companion who is in authority, that it's not like they're the damsel in distress type companion. I'm not saying the other ones were, but this is someone who is dealing with danger every single day, with treating people with life threatening injuries, or just in general, and injuries in general, or just basically the upkeep of people. So it's establishing very quickly that she's going to be good under pressure. And it was kind of nice little moment where the doctor's trying to look for her, and he then blows up the system and does a blackout in the hospital. Doesn't really show him fixing it though, so it's kind of like you just do a runner, then after you just got a bit of that. But it's showing her Belinda's day-to-day life before she meets the doctor, and it just goes straight into it straight away, where she's basically living with other tenants. I think it's kind of like a flat system, or a house that they're all renting out, and big bad robots show up to kidnap her. Now, these robots look an awful lot like two types of. It could be the same person who designed them, but they remind me of the dinosaurs on a spaceship robots, and also the ones with River Song, or the one that is big giant robotic body. They look like the same type of design but tweaked, and they've just basically changed with the face patterns and stuff like that. But still, big bad robot. It's pretty bad. Uh, Straight away, this is a bit of a thing. Like I like cats. Cats are my favorite pet, and the fact that when Belinda's kind of going like, well, if I don't go with you, what will happen? Mr. Tiddles gets obliterated as a sign of, if you don't come with us, that's what's going to happen to you. Uh, I love the fact the way this was written in, because we don't get to see the cat. The cat doesn't appear at all until that moment. So Tiddles gets obliterated for no reason. So it was kind of a okay, did you really have to take out the cat? Um, the thing that I took away from this episode, starting up already, is obviously the machines, the robots. They sound an awful lot like Cybermen, and I'm going to get to that point right now. Is when Belinda does get taken to the planet, and we find out why she's there. Is these machines have taken her and are forcing her to marry this AI generator, and the AI generator is very, very close to a cyber controller. I think personally this was a Cyberman episode. Because if you listen to the robots' voices, they're very close to the Cyberman voice pattern. The fact that there's conversion set up, like this AI generator wants to basically take a bride and basically upgrade her. So I think this was meant to be a Cyberman story. If not, it was definitely Remember Berry moment. It was trying to get very close to a Cyberman story. But that's what I got from that moment. Another little character that I liked in this moment when Belinda's been taken into the palace, basically, is a little polish robot. There's two little machines that I got a vibe from. Obviously, the Gadget from Waters of Mars, and also I got vibes of Mo from Wally. This little polish robot, its entire job is basically so any person of royalty that comes through the door, the pathway gets polished so they get a chance to walk. I think realistically, whoever built that just wanted to go, I've built this and I want it on the episode. But it was very cutesy. It reminded me of very like Fallout design. Like it felt like something way back in the 1950s, but Fallout vibes. Um, but yeah, nice little polish robot, polish, little Mo. But yes, we find out that that's why the machines have took her. They've basically took over the entire planet. They anyone who does an uprising or doesn't do what they say, they get completely atomized. And this is a quite interesting part because also we get the moment with the time crack or time shift, when the doctor's trying to save Belinda, and he's been blasted back 6 months. So he's been living on the planet for 6 months, and is we get another companion, or the what could have been companions, in the form of Tasha. I think it's Tasha. Sorry, my notes are gone. So I never said these reviews were like spot on. So if you're really looking for a high end review, there's plenty of other content creators out there. This is kind of a I'm half asleep and we're gonna have a bit of fun review. But yes, we get this what could have been companion. Um I for this one I didn't feel any like connection, unlike the last companion in the Christmas special. The companion we all wanted to be a companion. This was very rushed. It's kind of like a hey, he was living here for 6 months. We have to give it a backstory. You have to say that he's got this companion. He's promised the universe. He's promised time travel. All of that. Fortunately, she doesn't get that. She gets dusted, quite literally. And the doctor, obviously, it is a good moment to see the doctor really emotional because the build up of this has been living here for 6 months. Um, when they get back to the hideout, there is that little moment where the doctor is just inconsolable, where he is tearing up at the fact that this companion has passed. Um, but it just felt kind of out of place. You know, it was kind of like something that Belinda and the doctor could be connected with, like "I'm sorry for your loss" type thing. They threw it in a couple of times, like oh yeah, that person got completely atomized there a couple minutes ago. Hey, I'm sorry to hear that. It just felt out of place. I don't really think that needed to be in there. Unless you were going to have this person as a companion, but it was just kind of a throwaway. Let's have a moment of remembering the doctor's been here for 6 months. Um, Through that, we also get the moment where the little polish robot came along in the transporter with them, and as the doctor said, if we have to turn the machine off because the robots can track it. Belinda seeing how many people are injured because of her, because of many people have died in that little scuffle at the start of the episode. It also is nice to show the character of Belinda. We're only getting to know this character, and straight away, as I said, we can tell that this companion is going to be good under pressure, and this was the perfect moment. Also, show you a bit of compassion from her as well, where she sees that everybody is really injured, and she decides to take it on amongst herself to be captured or recaptured by the machines by turning on Mo. I'm going to call him Mo, but turning the machine back on so they can come to take her. And before that happens is a quite interesting part, because the doctor explains to Belinda what's been going on, the time shift, how long he's been here. Very key moment, so we have to very listen to this moment, because I've seen a lot of people online talking about this, and I don't think they heard this. But the doctor, when he's explaining how long he's been there and the machines captured his spaceship, he doesn't say TARDIS. I'll get back to that in a minute. But I've seen a lot of people online have got confused. So as I say, if you go back and watch it, he specifically says spaceship. He doesn't say TARDIS. But he's explaining to Belinda what the situation is. And she gets captured, and she's been taken to the generator, the AI generator. And if this doesn't speak Cyberman to me, or anybody out there, or cyber control, like, think about it. It's blue and electric, and it to be honest with you, that prop alone, the AI generator prop, beautiful work. I this kind of gave me vibes of Superman 3, like the computer. What I was expecting was Belinda to be pulled into the generator, and then you would get that horror moment where parts are being slapped onto her, and the doctor had to try and figure a way to like unconvert her or try to stop the conversion. But we didn't get to see that. We got to see something even more horrific. Is the fact is that Belinda starts to cop on that this is a bit weird, because I think it's gonna build up in the episodes and series 2 that she really doesn't like to be called Miss, just Belinda. So it feels like that's gonna be something to be brought back in the later episodes. But because she said that, the AI generator basically says, "Are you married?" Which is something that her asshole of a fiance or boyfriend, I'd say boyfriend, because I don't think he got that far. But it turns out that when she was being captured in that time shift, and she was explaining to the machines that the gift that she was given to her by Alan. Why don't you go and get him? And they did that. They did that, and as I said, this guy is a very control freak. And also they have established he's a very big computer gamer. So when he gets to the planet he's captured by the machines, he treats it like a video game. And once the machines give him power, he then decides to become a dictator. He has a reason why the robots have rebelled. The reason why people are in pure torment is because he just decided, "I'm the king now, and I don't like you. Kill him. Kill him now." He became the emperor. He became the emperor. That's basically, like. But before we go more into the episode, I really, as I say, I really wanted to put this point out here. This is definitely a Cyberman episode. Here's how I would have made this into a Cyberman episode, because you got all the key elements here already. You could have put it down at that it has happened before with Cybermen, that they need a cyber controller. They need a central hub. You could say that they were having the war went wrong for them. This faction of Cybermen have no control system, no orders, and they demand orders. and they capture Alan. And because of his obsession of wanting Belinda, that he becomes a cyber controller, and they are just unhinged with one purpose: obey everything this lunatic wants. And that's the thing that I think that would have been even more of a ruthless thing. The fact is, you've got Cybermen who are ruthless as they are, but under the control of a complete lunatic. That's even 10 times worse. But it's just too much close moments to be in a Cyberman story. The fact you've got conversion, the fact the whole premise is Belinda's going to be turned into a drone basically for Alan. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but I think genuinely this was meant to be a Cyberman story, and Russell just went no, because I did read a couple of things. It's kind of sad that he's taken a step away from Cybermen and Daleks and stuff like that. And I'm like, I get it, I understand, but they are villains of Doctor Who. It's kind of sad we're not going to get to see them. We might. I have a feeling there we might. But yes, as I say, Cyberman story. This was a Cyberman story. So when Alan reveals himself and explains that he's basically the dictator and has took over the AI systems, in the conversation that the Doctor and Belinda had about the certificate that he got, that it's the exact same certificate, and they do like a bit of a timey-wimey thing. That comes back, Tennant again. If the two of these items touch, they will cause an explosion. And just at that moment, Mo, or Polish, drops the certificate, takes the certificate to Belinda. Belinda then does the almighty touch the certificates, and we get the most trippiest, horrible moment in a good way. This reminded me literally of Willy Wonka in that moment where they're going down the with the boat, and there's all the crazy colors and mental things. So yeah, I was generally expecting to see Gene Wilder just going and a chicken to appear in the background. I was getting those vibes because this was crazy. I don't think this has ever been done before in Doctor Who, where you're actually getting to see what happens if two of the same thing touch together in like a time crack way. It was very trippy, and I liked it, and I thought that was really good. The fact that you get to see the Doctor, because the Doctor's a Time Lord, and I think the way it's portrayed is he can absorb the time energy explosion, so he's basically practically like absorbed the explosion, but he's been thrown into Belinda's life, so he's seen her from a child all the way up to now, um, which I think it also blends into what the Doctor had said to Belinda before this, and said that somebody told me you're who you are, but because of the timelines, I can't really say. I think he's referencing himself because we've seen it happen in the Christmas special. So I think he's had to live basically like 6 months or a couple of years before this, because he showed up at the hospital looking for her. So, yeah, that was interesting. Also, I didn't forget, but we also get to see Miss Flood again, when she was being transported away by the robots. Personally, I'm gonna say this now so I can say, hey, I said it before everybody else. I'm gonna say it's the Rani. Everyone thought it was Susan or this entity. She's definitely a Time Lord. Has to be a Time Lord or some time bandit or something. But I'm going to definitely say this would be the perfect time to, if, as Russell has said, he's staying away from the Master, Cybermen and the Daleks, bring back the Rani. This is the perfect moment. So I think Miss Flood is the Rani. I will be very upset if it's not. But getting back to the review. So yeah, we get to see that moment with the time fracture timeline thing and the Doctor basically absorbing the blast. And I thought this was kind of odd, but also like, damn, they just killed off a person and they kind of just laugh it off, like, oh, he's God now. So in that whole explosion, Al has literally been reverted back to, well, a sperm. And then Polish comes along and kills it. Just bloop, cleans it up. It's like, oh, that was a person. That person died. But we're not meant to like this person. So we're like, he's an asshole and he has now been swept up by a droid. And, well, hey ho. Now, I said there that we're not going to get Daleks and stuff like that. And there's a moment when obviously the Doctor and Belinda are on the TARDIS, which is very nice because we get the whole "it's bigger than the inside. Oh my god, it's amazing!" But what I loved about this moment with Belinda is the Doctor's all excited. Like, this is the Doctor's life, and he's like, a new mystery. I'm going to go off in time and space. We're going to do this and that, and she throws it back in his face and basically says, "Is this what you said to Tash? Is this what you said, or to Tisha? Sorry, is this what you said to her? Is this what you said to all the companions or all the girls? Basically, you promised them all this here. I'm not one of your adventures. Just get me home." And I like that. I like the fact that the Doctor gets a bit of a reality check. It's like, you bring people on to the TARDIS, you tell them it's a time machine, and then you take off. You don't actually really like ask them. The kind of companions kind of just stumble upon on board, and they like enable the Doctor. There's no one actually turns around and goes, "I'm not about that life. I've got a 9 to 5 job. I'm a nurse. I've got responsibilities. Just get me home." The Doctor tries, and we get obviously the start of series 2, where something's repelling the TARDIS from the Earth, and this is the moment where I think that we might get Daleks, because they specifically have an image of of space, and I was getting very big vibes of the Medusa Cascade. For the uninitiated, that was the whole plot device for the Daleks and the reality bomb. Now, I'm reading too much into this. It's just the hope that we might get Daleks, but I don't think we will. I also would say my other theory is Miss Flood, or aka the Rani, is doing some sort of time, something going on with time. Or what I would really love is one of the gods to return. I would love to see the Maestro, or for the finally, after all these years of teasing us, wouldn't it be nice to see it? It's the trickster that's doing it the entire time. Because when the Doctor basically says, "I can't get you back, we're going to go the long way around, I'm going to get you home," and when they dematerialize away from this no non-space galaxy area, you get to see a taxi in space. You get to see bits and pieces of the like the Eiffel Tower. I think a couple of other bits and pieces. I can't remember exactly. The Liberty, Statue of Liberty. You get all these just floating in space. So it's kind of saying, did the planet just get blown up, or what's going on here? And that's a beautiful part of the mystery. But yeah, that was the review. That was the episode itself. I have to say, I really enjoyed it. I really liked the fact of Belinda and how strong of a character she is, and a bit of a back history as a nurse. I like the fact that they've shown Miss Flood again straight away in the first episode, which I do believe it's Rani. As I said, it'll be quite upset if it's not. Not too upset, just kind of like, oh, come on. um, but as I say, I do think this was a Cyberman story. They had a lot of Cyberman vibes, but it was still fun. Big, giant AI robots, pissed off. "You left me, and now I want to marry you." In the form of Al, the bad guy, the costume that Al, or the AI generator was in, was just beautiful. Um, all in all, a good episode. I really liked it. It's starting off with a good start, series 2. But we've been here before, I have a feeling, I really, really pray that we don't get a non-Doctor episode at all in series 2. I think just, we come here to watch the Doctor do the Doctor things. Don't, for the love of God, have episode 2 where he does nothing. He's like trapped in some void, and Belinda has to be the main hero of that episode. Um, we can only hope. But yes, this was the review of Robot Rebellion, and I hope you liked it. I will be returning back for episode 2. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and until then, I shall see you all in the next video. Bye bye, everybody.